Well, some Mariners fans here in Houston, Texas, coming inside Minute Maid Park. The roof closed, the air conditioning on as we're getting you set for the middle game of this three-game series before a day off for the Mariners, trying to even things up after a loss last night in Game 1. Glad you could join us as always for Mariners baseball on Root Sports. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Flowers. And Mike, how about we take a look at the Mariners starting lineup tonight?
Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Chevron. Leading things off, it'll be Ketel Marte, and then it's Kyle Seager, Cruz, Cano, and Gutierrez. Gutierrez the DH tonight, but that's the middle of the lineup. Seth Smith will play left field and hit 6. Mark Trumbo, a couple of home runs for him last night, 3 RBIs, gives him 10 home runs on the year. Miller and Hicks round out the 9 for the Mariners. And for Feldman, on the year, a 5-5 record, 3.75 ERA for him, 59 strikeouts, 22 walks. Opponents hitting .275. He's given up 12 home runs this year.
Feldman's been around for a while. This is now his 11th season in the big leagues, his second year with the Astros. Facing Marte to begin things tonight. And he starts tonight's game off with strike one.
And that was the cutter. You're going to see his cutter a lot. It'll be anywhere from 87 to 89 miles an hour. His fastball, a four-seamer, 90 to 91, and a curveball at 75.
You know, Mike, last night it was one of the, really maybe the first truly rough night for Marte. He went 0 for 4, struck out 3 times facing Dallas Keuchel. And when Lloyd was asked today what he hopes Marte takes out of facing Keuchel last night, he said, I hope he forgets about it.
Yeah, short memory.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Two balls and a strike to the Mariners shortstop. A little Keuchel-esque. Saw a lot of that last night, out number 1.
We'll take a look at the defense for the Houston Astros. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. Rasmus getting the start in left field. Gomez in center. Marisnik, strong throwing arm, out in right. Jed Lowry at third base. Correa and Altuve playing at the middle. Gonzalez started left field last night. Will play B at first base tonight. And Max Stassi will do the catching.
Feldman coming off a fantastic month of August. A 1.33 earned run average last month. That was the lowest ERA in the American League.
And for Feldman against the Yankees, 8 innings, 6 hits. Did not give up a run in that one. Didn't walk anybody and had 6 strikeouts through 110 pitches. He was on his game against the Yankees.
And you might have noticed there a no decision for Feldman. He has been the victim of little to no run support. 2 runs of support his past 3 starts. And he's only given up 2 runs in his last 21 innings.
The Astros have the shift on with Kyle hitting.
Seager now with 9 hits in his last 4 games. And 3 of them home runs. Through the shift and a base hit. Another hit for Kyle. September off to a nice start, just like the final days of August for Kyle Seager. A 1-out single.
He gets a 4-seam fastball and hits it hard into right field. Line drive right over the top of the shift.
Kyle aboard. That brings in Nelson Cruz. Cruz not a whole lot of success. 2 for 13 against Feldman in his career. And with that being said, Mike, Feldman, the case of the reverse splits.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch when you look at him. Left-handers hitting .256 with 4 home runs. Right-handers .297 with 8 home runs. And I think he throws a lot of cut fastballs. I think that's more difficult for the left-hander because he can get it in on their hands and then go to his curveball down out of the strike zone so he can speed him up. So the left-handers have had a tougher time with Feldman. Right-handers doing just fine with a .297 batting average.
With last night's loss, the Mariners now 2-3 on the road trip. Finishing the month of August, 14 wins, 14 losses. And as we've talked about before, the offense was not at all the problem in August. The Mariners hit .265 for the month, and they hit the second most homers in the major leagues. They hit 42 home runs. Only the Blue Jays hit more home runs last month, which probably doesn't surprise anybody. But it was the pitching, an ERA over 5.5 for the Mariners in the month of August. The only team with a loftier ERA was the Atlanta Braves. Their ERA was over 6. Cano on deck. 3 balls and a strike to Cruz.
Pretty good cut fastball for Nelson. Hit elevated in the strike zone. Right in the middle of the plate. You mentioned it earlier. Feldman used to be a sinker ball, sinker slider type of pitcher, and he's obviously changed. His four-seam fastball, he will throw at the top of the strike zone.
Seager takes off. Cruz strikes out, and Kyle safe. Max Stassi just called up today doing the catching.
Pretty good jump from Kyle. Quick look in to see what happened. Saw that Nelson had swung through it and was able to dive in there safely. Get himself into scoring position with a couple of outs.
Two out Seager at second base. That brings in Cano. Robinson swinging a hot bat lately. Has for a while. But Cano 7 hits over his last 3 games. And he's hitting close to 400 in his last roughly 20 games. One ball and 1 strike.
Kyle still trying to get some of the mud off of his hands. A lot of water on the infield dirt.
Now the roof closed once again tonight. No surprise. Mariners looking for a hit with a runner in scoring position. That has been a problem on this road trip. So far on the trip, the Mariners hitting .140 in situations like this. 6 for 43. The Mariners have stranded 41 base runners in 5 games.
You see the last 2 pitches to Cano. It was a cut fastball in on his hands that he was fouling off. You can see it on the EQC tracer, and then that last pitch, the curveball. He has a 12-6 curveball right on the outside corner.
Stassi keeps track of it. 2-2. And really for Feldman, he has a changeup, but a pitch that really doesn't ever throw hardly at all.
Maybe once or twice you'll see it. Basically going to go with his curveball as his off-speed pitch.
Seager in scoring position with 2 outs and a full count.
Then we'll take a look at the pitch selection for Feldman. And I thought it was interesting that he threw his cutter more than his fastball. A lot of people like their fastball and use the cutter to complement it, but it's the other way for him. And opponents hitting just 210 against the cutter, and then his curveball is 25%. Opponents hitting 270 off of it, and the changeup just 4% of the time.
He's already thrown 11 cutters out of his 19 pitches early on tonight. Altuve able to snare it, and Cano is out number 3. A runner left in scoring position. We're through 1/2 inning. We go to the home half of the first. Ronas Elias about to take them out for the Mariners. Astros, the most that he has faced any team in the major leagues. Coming off a quality start his last time out, facing a hot-hitting Astros team, one of the deadliest home run hitting ball clubs in the majors. And Mike, happen to look at A.J. Hinch's starting lineup.
Leading off, Jose Altuve, a big key to last night's game. He was on base 3 times, scored a couple of runs. Want to be careful with him. Gonzalez Correa with a home run last night. The DH is Gaddis. Carlos Gomez coming over in a trade will hit 5th. Jed Lowry last night, a home run to break an 0-for-27 streak for him. Ended up with a couple of hits, including a double. Rasmus, Stassi, and Marisnik round out the 9 for the Astros. For Elias on the year, 4-7 record, a 4.20 ERA, 67 strikeouts, and 85 2/3. Opponents hit an even 250 off of him. He's given up 11 home runs.
Altuve showing bunt, looking at a strike. No surprise, Altuve having a fantastic season, as the Astros are as well. The first time those two statements have lined up in Altuve's career. Second pitch to Marte, out number 1.
We'll take a look at the defense for the Mariners, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Seth Smith getting the start in left field. Brad Miller did a nice job last night back out in center field, and Nelson Cruz in right. Kyle Seager at third. Marte, the shortstop. Cano and Trumbo on the right side of the infield, and John Hicks getting his second big league start behind the plate. And for Elias on Thursday against the White Sox, 6 2/3. He gave up 9 hits, but just 3 earned runs in that one. Didn't walk anybody, and that'll be a key for him again today through 96 pitches in his last outing.
And it was nice to see Elias work into the 7th the last time out. Now facing Marwin Gonzalez, the first baseman tonight for the Astros. He's moved around defensively lately.
And for Elias, a good fastball, 91 to 93 miles an hour with his fastball. He'll mix in a curveball and a changeup. A few more changeups this year than the curveball.
Elias with the Sox pulled up high tonight here for Game 2 in Houston. I mentioned it earlier. This is a team that Roenis has seen a lot and has been roughed up at times against the Astros. An ERA over 4.5 in his 5 starts against Houston, as they appeal down to first base, and a strike there to make it 1-2.
You look at his first 2 starts this year against Houston, and they were here in this ballpark. Combined 9 1/3, total of 10 earned runs, and the key for me is he had 7 walks between those 2 outings. In his last outing at Safeco, he went 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, did not walk a batter. Also had 10 strikeouts in that one. That was a season high for him.
Now you cannot walk the Astros. They'll make you pay for it.
Especially in this ballpark. They've really played well at home this year. 46 21 at home this year.
Elias has worked with John Hicks a lot over the course of their minor league career. Speaking of catchers, A.J. Hinch, first-year manager. Catch from the big leagues for a number of years. The A's, the Royals, among others. Right back to Elias. Easy play here for the lefty. Out number 2. Both on the ground. But Hicks was saying today from inside the clubhouse that he has caught Elias really even dating all the way back to low A ball in Clinton. They worked together in High Desert in 2012. And the final year for Elias in the minor leagues on a full-time basis in 2013 with Double-A Jackson. Those 2 work together almost exclusively, so this is a familiar couple, so to speak. And steps Carlos Correa with two outs, and it's 0-1. Sixteenth home run of the season for Correa last night. Spent the first couple of months this year in the minor leagues. The youngest position player in baseball, 20 years old. Former #1 overall draft pick out of Puerto Rico from the Astros.
You will notice in the ball game tonight that they are very aggressive as an offense. They like to swing the bats. They will strike out a lot, but as Aaron mentioned, they'll also hit it out of the ballpark.
Soft roll over, 360 Seager for out number 3. 3 ground ball outs for Roenis Elias. Exactly what you want to do in this ballpark. We're through the first, 0-0. Well, about to start the top of the second, but a fine way here, Mike, in the bottom of the first. What a play by Seager.
Showing some great range, gets rid of it quickly with something on it. Correa can really get down the line, so Kyle helping out Elias to end the inning.
And hopefully a sign of things to come for Roenis. Made his way through the first pretty quickly, and all outs on the ground. To short, back to the mound, and then to third, as you just saw. Franklin Gutierrez to begin the Mariners' second. Mariners left a runner at second base in the first against Feldman. In reference to numbers for Feldman in August, the best ERA in the American League that month at 1.33 over 4 starts. But he's been roughed up lately by the Mariners. His last 5 starts against Seattle, an ERA pushing 8. Goody with some good numbers against Feldman. 7 for 21 lifetime. Feldman born in Hawaii, went to high school and college in California. Long time with the Rangers, began his career working out of the bullpen for Texas. This is Galt, high to left, short fence, and it's at the wall and gone. Gutierrez, 1-0 Mariners. Number 11 for Goody, and the Mariners take an early lead off of Feldman.
And for Franklin Gutierrez, a productive month of August, and here on the 1st of September, he continues, as Aaron mentioned, his 11th home run on the curveball. You can see the catcher, he was going to block it, but Franklin catches it right out in front of the plate. Short porch in left, and hits it into the seats.
That does not take a whole lot to get it out to left here. Smith tees off to the gap, right center. A lot of real estate. Up towards Towles Hill, extra bases. Gomez tracks it down. Smith to turn and to third, and he is in there safely with a slide. Home run, and now a triple from Seth Smith.
And it's one of the problems when you're throwing a cutter to the left-hander. You have to get it inside. He doesn't do that. 88 miles an hour right in the middle of the plate. Gomez, the center fielder, was playing set to hit it out towards left center, so a big gap out in right center field.
And another scoring chance here for Trumbo.
Astros have their infield about halfway.
Does not go around.
Trumbo with a couple of home runs last night, now 10 with the Mariners. Drove in all 3 of their runs.
And big night last night for Trumbo. Now 19 home runs this season for Mark in his time combined with the Mariners and with the Diamondbacks. Shallow center. Altuve, tough angle, makes the catch, and Smith has to stay put. Well, that Mariners baseball to your list of things to enjoy over the upcoming holiday weekend. Join us for a Labor Day matinee this Monday when the Mariners and the Rangers face off at a special 3:40 start time. Log on to Mariners.com today to pick up tickets. One out, Smith to third, and here's Brad Miller.
Now the Astros will bring their infield in. Brad with a couple of hits last night, 2 for 4 in last night's ball game.
And why now in with 1 out as opposed to before?
They just wanted to give him more range, I think. If the ball was hit hard, because Trumbo typically, if he's going to put it in play, is going to hit it harder than a lot of people, and he's been hot. So give him a little more range. It'll get to him quickly. Now with Brad, you bring him in to make sure that you hold the runner at third. Unless Rich Donnelly and Lloyd McClendon want to put contact play on here.
Miller behind 0-2. Couple of nice at-bats last night against a tough lefty, as tough as they come against lefties in Keuchel. And for the final month of the season, we'll be getting used to saying Brad Miller, center fielder.
That'll be a good opportunity for everybody. Give Brad a lot more experience in the outfield. Give Lloyd and his staff an opportunity to watch him. Have a better idea of what he's capable of when they go into spring training next year. And it'll be the same with Marte at short. Continue to watch him play on a regular basis. See what he can do out at shortstop.
Has looked good, but hasn't been here all that long. Marte, that is. Stassi, a good stop, 2-2. The Mariners saw Feldman back in late April this year. He pitched well. He scattered 8 hits over 7 innings, allowed only 2 runs. Miller calls time. The home run by Goody to begin the inning, the triple from Smith, and out later here is Miller with a 2-2 count. The opposite way and foul. It's hard to believe it. We saw that graphic on Seth Smith, his 5th triple this year. He had 5 last year as well, at a big spacious park at Petco in San Diego. Had 9 triples in 2011 with the Rockies, and bigger Coors Field probably had a little something to do with that.
And a pretty good battler here from Brad. You see that last pitch, the cut fastball in off the plate. A little lay off of it. John Hicks waiting on deck.
Good battle here from Miller. Pitch number 9 coming up. Infield still in, 1 out. And Smith 90 feet from home after the triple. Down on strikes. Second punch out for Feldman. That'll bring in Hicks. Take a look at our CenturyLink. What's next? Mike, it would not be a series against the Astros if Taijuan Walker didn't pitch. Isn't that right?
Especially in this
ballpark.
Yeah, Taijuan always gets a turn in this ballpark.
This is where he made his major league debut.
Tough left-hander, and Scott Kazmir up against him tomorrow.
Never easy. Kazmir having a fantastic season. Traded over a little before the deadline from Oakland. Hicks holds back for ball 1. Now the Mariners stranded Seager at second in the first, trying not to leave Smith at third here in this second inning. Here you have an 11-year veteran in Feldman, 32 years old, going up against Hicks, who is in the middle of what is his 6th major league at-bat. Picked up his first major league hit in his first at-bat in Chicago. Just turned 26 yesterday. And he's ahead of the count.
And Feldman now 40 pitches as he works here in the second inning. 40 pitches, 21 strikes.
That's back-to-back 3-ball counts. Had 2 of them in the first inning as well. Just got it in there, 3-1. Marte would be next. We've got 2 outs and Smith at third. And a full count.
With the four-seam fastball that time. A lot of cutters here in the first couple of innings, but a four-seamer just off the inside corner.
And he walks Hicks, the number 9 hitting rookie. Runners on the corners. First walk from Feldman, who has run a full count to 4 of the first 9 batters that he's faced in this one tonight. Which helps to explain that pitch count a little bit. Smith still at third. And it brings in Marte.
Marte hit a one-hopper back to Feldman his first time up.
Time called late. It was Gutierrez who began this inning with the home run to left. Smith tripled. 2 outs later, Hicks the walk.
Well, you can see it, 25 pitches in the inning, 45 total for him.
Slow wave there from Marte. And for however big of a factor, or maybe not at all, it's worth mentioning Feldman and Stassi, you have to figure, haven't worked together all that often. Stassi's only played about 10 big league games in his career, just got called up today. Castro on the disabled list with a quad injury. We saw Conger last night. A lot of pitches early for Feldman. Mariners have made him work. Pitch is low as Hicks takes off, but he's into second. So Hicks with his first stolen base.
He picks the right pitch. He runs on a curveball. It's going to end up in the dirt. He's got a report on him, and yes, he's a catcher, but he's a pretty good athlete.
Full count to Marte, so the full count trend continues. 5 of the first 10 batters.
He really hasn't had any command at all here in the first couple of innings. 48 pitches, 25 strikes, 23 balls for Feldman. Not the ratio that he wants.
And he loses Marte, another walk. Back-to-back 2-out walks. And the bases are full for Kyle Seager.
Kyle had a base hit his first time up, a solid line drive into right field. Also picked up a stolen base, as you could probably tell by the way his uniform looks right now. A lot of success in his career with the bases loaded, a .383 average. A couple of grand slams this year.
Smith at third. Takes at second. Marte at first.
You can see the shift on with the Astros.
It's now 30 pitches this inning for Feldman. And that one's not close. Smith tripled. He's aboard at third. Hicks walked and then moved to second base on the walk to Marte. Marte at first base.
Brent Strom, the pitching coach, out at the mound. Feldman, you could tell him that last fastball, he missed badly with it. Was clearly frustrated by that. Anytime, really good count from Kyle. 2-0. And nowhere to put him.
Now you cannot score enough runs, especially early, against this team in this ballpark. Three and 0.
Nelson Cruz waiting on deck.
And the 3-0 pitch to Seager. Lands for a strike.
Kyle taking all the way.
Feldman one bad pitch away from walking his third straight and walking in a run. And that's exactly what happens. A 2-0 Mariners lead on a bases loaded walk for Kyle Seager. Smith the triple. Trots across home. All three outs coming, or pardon me, all three walks coming with 2 outs. And a curveball for a strike to Cruz.
Gutierrez getting things started with a home run. Hit a curveball out to left, his 11th home run on the year.
And you can see that home run from Franklin just adding to the Mariners' total of road home runs this year, the most in baseball. They now have 8 more than the Yankees, the second most in the majors. Bases loaded and the 1-1 to Cruz. High to the corner. Marisnik watches this find the seats. Hicks drew a 2-out walk. He's now at third base. Marte also looked at ball 4. Now it's second. And Seager walked as well.
And no surprise, they're going to get their pen moving. The last guy's getting loose. 57 pitches.
Nelson Cruz 1 home run shy of number 40, matching his total from all of last year. This gets away from Stassi, but everybody stays put.
Why not make the 40th a grand slam?
That's right.
He has 8 in his career. There you can see the splits. They are not good. 58 pitches, just 28 strikes from Feldman. And again, he had a great month of August, but no command at all here early in the ball game.
Here comes a 2-2. Chopper to Lowry. That'll do it. Mariners get 2. They leave them loaded. We go to the bottom of the second, and it could have been a lot worse for Feldman. presented by Delta Airlines. Take a look through the windows here from our vantage point inside Minute Maid Park here in downtown Houston, Texas. A lot of construction going on around the ballpark. You can see the crane. Felix skipped in this series to freshen him up a little bit. We'll see him Saturday in Oakland against the A's, a team that he has absolutely dominated in recent years. Hopefully that trend will continue. Gaddis to lead off the bottom of the second for the Astros. And Elias, a long time to think about what he would do in this second inning. 39 pitches for Feldman in the top half.
Yeah, he was able to sit in the dugout for a long time. For Elias, just 10 pitches in the first inning, 3 ground ball outs. It was interesting. Only threw 4 fastballs, 6 changeups for him, and there's another changeup. So against the right-handed hitters on the Astros, it looks as if he's going to use his changeup quite a bit this evening. Probably a good idea.
Only one left-handed bat in the lineup for the Astros. That's Rasmus, who's down to the number 7 spot.
Mariners faced Dallas Keuchel last night, and he had an effective changeup. Almost looked like a screwball last night. Had a lot of movement to his changeup. Missed with that fastball, 91 miles an hour.
And he was pronating his wrist in a way that you wondered if it would be okay afterwards. His arm overall, right, Mike?
Well, it looked just fine, and it was interesting. He was talking about it today in his changeup, and basically saying that he was asked where he learned it, and he said basically he's giving the credit to his dad. His dad wouldn't let him throw a breaking ball until he was able to get into high school, so he worked on his changeup when he was younger and still uses it, and it's effective.
Leadoff walk to Gaddis. First base runner for the Astros, and in comes Carlos Gomez. Keuchel last night picked up his 16th win. That now leads the American League. And the Astros pitching last month was fantastic. They finished August with a 2.61 earned run average. Feldman, McHugh, and Keuchel a big reason why. Gomez a 6-game hitting streak, 8 hits in those 6 games.
He had been really struggling. You can see in the 28 games hitting just .211 with a couple of home runs for the Astros since joining them.
Picked up at the deadline from Milwaukee along with Mike Fiers. And the Astros will have Gomez through next year. 1-1. It'll be interesting to see how A.J. Hinch decides to work his outfield soon when George Springer comes off the disabled list. You figure that Gomez would probably stay put. We have seen Springer in right field when he was healthy, and Marisnick in center field. So you figure those two guys will find their way on the corners one way or another. Maybe Marisnick in left.
Well, the good news for A.J. is he's going to have options. Rasmus getting the start in left field tonight.
Nasty curve really ties up Gomez. You can see that where that pitch was. That's the first strikeout tonight from Elias.
Take a look at the breaking ball. 78 miles an hour, trying to throw it at his back foot and able to get it there. As you see, a weak swing by Gomez right over the top of it. Well located breaking ball from Elias.
One out, one on. Jed Lowry, first pitch strike. As you can tell from the helmet, Lowry a switch hitter. Homered last night to break an 0 for 28 slide.
This has been his better side this year, right-handed. Hitting .316, just .194 left-handed.
Lowry again tonight at third base for the Astros. He's shifted there since coming off the disabled list, and Carlos Correa taking over the everyday role at shortstop. Gaddis the walk, leads at first base.
I would assume with Taijuan Walker going tomorrow, probably see Valbuena at third tomorrow.
He has had a boom or bust year. A lot of home runs, low average, which is maybe a microcosm of the Astros overall this season. Jewett, the bench coach, giving some signs in the dugout. Full count. The first 3-ball count early on here tonight from Elias as he's getting set to face the only left-hander in the lineup, Colby Rasmus, on deck. And a walk to Lowry. 2 walks in this inning.
Well, it's not what you want to see after the struggles of Feldman, who walked 3 in the top of the second inning. Elias continues to throw his changeup. He threw a changeup on that last pitch. I think he thought it was a strike, but ended up being ball 4.
It's easy to go back to spring training last year for Elias, where it seemed like, Mike, he was throwing out of 5, 6, 7 different arm slots, and his command was affected by that. And Lloyd said, if you want to pitch for me, you're going to have to choose an arm slot. And he really has, for the most part. Every once in a while you'll see him drop down to a lefty, maybe especially with 2 strikes, but it seems like that has been something that Elias was able to clean up pretty quickly from the time of spring training last year when we saw him a lot of Cactus League games to the time when he really became a mainstay in the rotation last year for the Mariners.
Yeah, I spoke to Rick Waits about that with him, the pitching coach for the Mariners, and he will change arm angles on just the left-handers.
Up towards the scaffolding to the warning track. In a few steps, Cruz makes the catch. Gaddis runs well, and he scampers into third. Rasmus gets underneath it a little too much, out number 2.
And we'll take a look at the pitches for Elias. You can see his fastball 55%. His curveball at 19%. It's been a good pitch for him. Lee just hitting 167 off his curveball, and his changeup, we've seen that a lot. He'll be above that 26% that he does on average in the league, hitting just 178 off of his changeup. But Rick was saying the same thing. We had to get him in an arm slot to where he could repeat his pitches. And I asked him about the lefties because I noticed he was continuing to drop down on the left-handers, and he smiled a little bit. He said it's okay against the lefties. Didn't want to take that away from him.
Sure, let him have a little fun.
Yeah.
Max Stassi just called up today with rosters expanding.
And there's the changeup again.
Stassi's played in 1 game this year with the Astros. Overall, just over 10 big league games the last few years. Spent all of this year with AAA. Did not have a whole lot of success there. At 211, did hit 13 home runs, 43 RBIs. He's behind 0-2. Astros have him on the corners. Gaddis at third. Lowry at first. Both reaching on ball 4. Tied run at first.
See that last fastball right in the middle of the plate. A good fastball at 92 for Elias, but he wanted to get it to the inside corner. after a couple of changes. Had him set up for the fastball inside. Didn't quite get it there. You can see Hicks set up on the corner, and he'll reach back out towards the middle of the plate.
The opposite way, a base hit. Gaddis scores, and the Astros are on the board. Now Stassi in his first at-bat since being called up. This is the first run across the plate for the Astros within a run now.
And he'll hit the changeup. Off the plate away, give him credit for that. Elevated a little bit, makes it easier to hit the line drive.
Elias now facing Marisnick, the number 9 hitting right fielder. He's got Lowry at second, Stassi at first.
The Astros hitting .247 as a team with runners in scoring position, 1 for 2 so far tonight. And after throwing 10 pitches in the first inning, Elias now 24 pitches here in the second.
Now what you're really hoping to see was a pretty quick second inning after Feldman threw nearly 40 pitches, gave up 2 runs to get 3 outs in the top half. 1-1 on Marisnick. And the leadoff walk comes around to score. Evan Gaddis. Lowry, who walked, now at second base. Stassi at first. Tying run in scoring position for the Astros. Gets a strike to make it 1-2. Big swing and a miss from Marisnick. Nasty off-speed pitch there from Elias. And the Astros strand 2. They get a run. And as we go to the top of the third, Mariners by 1. Take a look now at our Geico this date in big league history. A former Mariner, Adrian Beltre, 5 for 6, 5 runs. That's for the cycle against the Rangers. He's now tied for the most cycles in history. And for a cycle this year, the Rangers have had 2 guys hit for the cycle. It was Beltre and then Shin-Soo Choo after him. One of 4 cycles in Mariners history. Beltre was the last.
Adrian probably has, what, another 5 or 6 years to get another one?
Easily. Easily. He might go on the DL a couple of times in that span. Cano to begin the Mariners' 3rd. Feldman's 60th pitch of the night already. No 1-2.
Could not find the strike zone in the 2nd inning, quickly ahead of Cano. First pitch curveball and comes back with a cut fastball for a strike.
Three walks, 2 strikeouts tonight for Feldman. He walked 3 straight batters with 2 outs in that 2nd inning. Walked in a run. High chopper. Lowry near the line. Off his heels. Accurate throw. Round number 1. Now, during the last half inning, when we were in the bottom of the 2nd, this was Scott Feldman in the dugout. Brent Strom, the pitching coach. And you can see talking some mechanics there, maybe, Mike?
Yeah, you can see right there he was saying he was fighting himself, flying open with his front shoulder, and just did not have command. No surprise to see him come out. Very first pitch he throws is a curveball. I think he would have thrown his curveball regardless of who was at home plate just to get back into his mechanics. But you can see him showing that his front shoulder flying open. That was causing the problems.
Strike 1 to Gutierrez, who homered over the wall in left field in the 2nd inning to lead off the frame. Feldman has seen the Mariners plenty over the course of his career. This is his 15th start against Seattle, his 29th appearance overall. Plenty of times out of the bullpen early. And his relieving days with the Rangers. Gutierrez behind the 1-2. Marisnik, foul ground. Gonzalez, and it's in the seats.
Well, after frankly hitting his curveball out of the ballpark, he hasn't seen one in this at bat. First 4 pitches, 3 cutters, 1 four-seam fastball.
Two and 2. And a full count.
Seth Smith waiting on deck. Seth with a triple his first time up. Line drive into right center field.
Now, running a full count has been a theme early on here for Feldman tonight. Look at just the last few batters that he's faced. Miller, Hicks, Marte, Seager all in a row. And a break to Cruz and Cano, and then once again it runs it full to Gutierrez.
And a big reason why his pitch count is at 71 pitches now with just 1 out here in the 3rd. 71 pitches, 37 strikes, 34 balls for him.
And a lengthy at bat here. This will be pitch number 9. And a walk to Gutierrez. 4th walk for Feldman. This one comes with 1 out. Goody reaching for the 2nd time. Sunday, September 13th is Salute to Native American Day at the ballpark when the Mariners host the Rockies. The first 10,000 fans 21 and over will take home a stylish blue and yellow Mariners cap courtesy of EQC. Visit mariners.com for tickets.
You see it all the time in this game, Aaron, and hard to explain it, but Feldman had 17 starts coming into this one, only 22 walks on the year. As you mentioned, the 4th walk in this game. And he'd been arguably their best pitcher in August.
And lowest ERA in the American League last month. Those 4 walks now a season high. Feldman did miss a pretty substantial amount of time this year, almost 2 months with surgery on his right knee. So tonight is only start number 18 for Scott Feldman. By contrast, last night for Keuchel, his 27th.
Astros have the shift on with Seth Smith hitting.
How many people would have lost a bet if you asked him who leads the Mariners in triples? Many people would have said Seth Smith.
Probably not, but you mentioned it, what he's done over the last few years. He gets his share of triples.
Yeah. Look at the numbers in his career. A lot of doubles this year for Smith as well. Tripled and scored in the 2nd. Came home on the bases loaded walk to Seager.
I think if you look at the lineup, pick somebody that's been here all year, I probably would have guessed Brad Miller.
Yeah, I can understand that. Or Austin Jackson when he was here.
Oh,
yeah. Missing to Smith, 2-2. Well, for the folks here in Houston who watched Feldman go 8 scoreless with no walks against the Yankees in his last start, they're thinking this is a completely different guy. Over 75 pitches. He's gotten 1 out here in the 3rd. And you can kind of see even just the body language from Feldman after that pitch. He's just wondering what's going on.
After the last 2 or 3 pitches, you can tell that he's frustrated.
Full count to Smith. 7 full counts of the first 15 batters.
And the other part of that is Mariners dugout can see that too, so you really like to take advantage of it. You know that he's not right now, so you have to really zone up in the middle of the plate.
Jumbo on deck, 1 out. Gutierrez at first. There he goes. And another walk to Smith. 5 walks from Scott Feldman.
Starting to get some action out in the bullpen again. A.J. Hinch looking on. Velasquez, he was up last inning.
Now, Feldman not a strikeout guy, but he certainly doesn't walk many. Think about how long Feldman has been in the game. This is now his 11th season. It's only the 6th time in his career he's walked at least 5 batters. First pitch strike to Trumbo. Last time he walked 5, you have to go back to late July of last year against the A's. Trumbo popped up to second base and shadow center his last time up. 2 home runs last night. Way outside. Forty strikes of 81 pitches. 22 pitches this inning, 39 in the second for Feldman. Drops in a curve for a strike to make it 2-2. It was Trumbo who drove in all 3 runs last night for the Mariners.
There's the high fastball from him. The scouting report says he likes to throw his 4-seam fastball at the top of the strike zone or just above it. He really hasn't had the opportunity to do that because he's consistently behind in the count. And when you do that, you're betting on the hitter swinging at it. But if he takes it, you're in more trouble. He's had a tough time getting to that pitch.
Sky to center field. Gomez settles underneath it. Out number 2. And Gutierrez stays put at second. Two outs, it brings in Brad Miller. Miller saw 9 pitches in his last at bat, ended up striking out though. Struck out on a fastball from Feldman.
Yeah, that was one of the few fastballs we've seen at the top of the strike zone from him. Brad swinging through it.
Goes after the first pitch, a curve.
And A.J. Hinch heading out to the mound with the trainer.
Looks like maybe they saw something. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, now coming out too.
If he's having issues with that knee that you were talking about, Aaron, where he had the surgery on it earlier.
Missed almost 2 months.
And that's going to be it. Going to take him out of the ball game.
We'll take a look at that last pitch.
Going to throw the curveball. Hard to tell.
And not much, but something. Feldman done, really labored through 2 2/3. We'll step aside, a pitching change. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. And by Honda. Get a dream deal on your favorite Honda now at your Honda dealer. Inside the concourse here at Minute Maid Park, the roof closed. Middle game of this 3-game series against the division-leading Houston Astros. And Mike, safe to say, not the start that A.J. Hinch was expecting out of Scott Feldman. Leaves with some form of injury after 2 2/3, and now it is Vince Velasquez, who we've seen as a starter for a little bit this year.
No, you're right. Feldman really struggling. Didn't expect to see that at all after coming off the month of August that he had. But as you mentioned, ended up leaving with an injury. He had that knee surgery earlier this year. As you look at the numbers for Velasquez, just 12 appearances for him, a 3.57 ERA, but 47 strikeouts and 45 in the third. Opponent's hitting .223. He's given up 3 home runs. Astros start the game 4 games ahead of the Rangers. The Rangers playing in San Diego tonight.
Tailing left center, base hit. Gutierrez makes the turn. Play at the plate. Goody the slide. He's safe, and the Mariners get a run with 2 outs. RBI base hit, Brad Miller, and it's 3-1 Mariners.
And Brad ends up hitting a pretty good fastball, 96 miles an hour. It's in the middle of the plate, but right at the knees. Solid line drive into center field, or towards left center field. Gomez has a strong throwing arm, but Gutierrez is able to beat the throw.
And pushes Smith into second base. He reached on the walk. And good to see the Mariners get a base hit with a runner in scoring position, especially one with 2 outs. First pitch to Hicks. We saw Velasquez in what was his 3rd start of this season. He's a rookie, and he did not have great pitch efficiency. He threw 93 pitches to go 3 1/3 innings in that start at Safeco Field. Allowed a run on only 2 hits. That was the remarkable thing. 2 hits, and he threw 93 pitches. He walked 4 and struck out 5.
Has a good fastball, good curveball. Fastball will be mid to upper 90s.
Out of the glove, but everybody stays put. Smith, then Miller. It was Velasquez who came up from the minor leagues around the time when Feldman went on the disabled list. And that was one of the questions at the time around the Astros, is how would their rotation hold up? It was so young. You had Velasquez, a rookie, Lance McCullers, who we've seen, a rookie. We'll not be seeing him in this series. Velasquez now back at the bullpen. Hicks waving through it. Off-speed pitch there from Velasquez, and that ends the top of the 3rd. But Miller, an RBI single with 2 outs, brings in Gutierrez, and the Mariners lead it by 2. lead as we go to the bottom of the third. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag RTNWDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Glad you could join us tonight. Mariners baseball on Root Sports. It's the middle game with this 3-game series here from downtown Houston. Jose Altuve digging in as Elias has seen the starting 9 one time through. Now back to the top.
Giving up a run on 1 hit in the second inning. He walked a couple of batters. The leadoff hitter Gaddis ended up scoring the 1 run, so he needs to stay away from the walks.
Made quick work of the top third of the order the first time through. Ball's behind Altuve.
I don't think Elias is real happy with the strike zone. Second pitch in this at-bat, changeup just off the outside corner. That looked like a pretty good pitch with his fastball. There it is, right on the outside corner. Good pitch.
4-pitch walk. Altuve reaching 29th straight game. Altuve is on base. That's a career high, extending a career high. Now the man who leads the American League in steals with 35 is at first for Gonzalez. Gonzalez grounded out right back to Elias in the first inning. And he looks at strike 1. The Astros 4th in the league in walks. They are 2nd in all of baseball in strikeouts. They trail only the Cubs in punch-outs this year. Something A.J. Hinch very familiar with. And that's kind of why, Mike, you'd have to figure it explains the blueprint this year for the Astros. You don't often see a team that hits as many home runs as Houston does, steal as many bases as they do. You think about Lloyd McClendon's teams when he was the hitting coach for the Tigers, as they were belting home runs all over the place, and they had 30 steals by the end of the season. They were last in the league, it seemed like, every year.
I think that when you look at this Houston club, that if you're going to have some deficiency, you mentioned they strike out a lot, but they hit a lot of home runs, 2nd in the league in home runs, 1st in stolen bases, 1st in ERA, and 2nd in fielding. So they're exceptional at a number of areas where they have some deficiency. They can cover it up because of that. It was just a matter of, when we saw them even midway through the year, were they going to be able to continue to play at that level, and they have.
Really have. Right now, a 4-game cushion over the Rangers. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. 1 out, 1 on for Correa. And based on what Hinch has said in the past, part of the reason why they steal as much as they do while still hitting so many home runs is because of the strikeouts. They can't just rely on the home runs.
And it's tough for them to bunch hits together because they strike out so much.
That's why you see kind of an odd combination, the home runs and the steals.
Well, they're very young and obviously a talented group, athletic group. And I think he's just taking advantage of that. Why not?
Yeah, seems like a wise move. He is falling behind 3-0 to Correa.
Think of those two combinations, Aaron, and it's interesting because they're 5th in the league in runs scored, but they're last in hitting.
There's a strike. They're tied for 29th in the majors, batting .242. They're tied with the Mets. The Cubs are the only team hitting at a lower clip, .241. They're splitting hairs. So here you have the Cubs lead the league, lead baseball in strikeouts. They are the lowest hitting team in the majors, and yet they are, at least for right now, pretty firmly entrenched in the wild card spot. The second one there in the National League. A lot of different ways to do it. This is punched. Long run, Miller at the wall, can't get it. Gonzalez puts on the brakes at third. Correa with a big time double with one out. And the Astros have two in scoring position.
And we'll take a look at it. That's a changeup. 87 miles an hour on the outside corner. I think he hit it towards the end of the bat a little bit. Brad trying to make the catch up against that screen that they have out there. You can see the angle. He crashes into it. And that'll be a double for Correa. And looks like they're going to put Gaddis on. They are.
Gaddis 22 home runs, tying a career high. And 22 last year with the Braves. Let's see, 4 pitches wide.
Leads the club in RBIs with 72.
Carlos Gomez on deck.
Gomez struck out his first time up.
No, Mike, in only a handful of games watching Miller in center field, this probably isn't a surprise at all. It's safe to say that Brad isn't afraid to give himself up a little bit to try to catch a fly ball.
No, he will definitely do that. And again, he's going to get an opportunity to play out there a lot here in the last month of the season with Austin Jackson going to the Cubs yesterday. And so he'll gain a lot of experience. I mentioned it, not afraid to run into the walls or dive, to do what he has to do. And he also, I think, he has plenty of speed to play out there.
Elias loads him up with the intentional walk to Gaddis.
An intentional walk, his 4th base on balls in the game.
So we have seen a combined 9 walks in this game as we played the bottom of the 3rd. Feldman walked 5. Another close pitch. Mike, it's hard to think of each pitch so far tonight from Elias. You mentioned the 4 walks, 1 intentional, but it doesn't seem like Elias is missing overall by a whole lot.
No, including that last pitch, which is the changeup. And we've also seen him throw some pitches right on the corner and not get the call. So I would say Chris Conroy a bit tight with the strike zone tonight. And a really good count for Gomez.
20 pitches this inning now for Elias. 1 out, bases full. Strike to make it 2-1. Gonzalez reached on the fielder's choice, now finds himself at 3rd. Correa the double deep to left center. Aboard at second base. Gaddis just saw 4 pitches wide, an intentional walk. Gaddis is the go-ahead run. Well outside, 3-1.
Next pitch will be 60 as he works here in the 3rd. So both starting pitchers having a tough time with the strike zone tonight.
Full count. Jed Lowry a walk in the 2nd on deck. will bring Hicks out.
You can see the ratio, not good for Elias. It was not good for Feldman. 60 pitches, just 30 strikes for him.
Bases full, 1 out, and a full count. Clubs it high. Smith on the track. The catch. At number 2, Gonzalez can tag. And the Mariners lead cut to 1.
We'll take a look at an off-speed pitch to Gomez. He was late on the fastball, and he just missed hitting that one out of the ballpark, right up against the wall in left field. He thought he had a chance.
Correa still at second, Gaddis at first, 2 outs for Lowry. Ball 1. Elias has missed at the first pitch after every batter but one in this inning. Granted, one of those batters took an intentional walk. Now, the last 2 innings have been a stark contrast from a 10-pitch 1-2-3 bottom of the first that we saw. Elias spin. 3 ground ball outs, no less.
Well, in that first inning, the 10 pitches you mentioned, 6 of them were changeups, and had good command of them. Usually that's a good sign for Elias, but has not been the case.
Off his glove. The race is on. Out of the glove and in time. Lowry is out, number 3. The Astros lead 2. They get 1. And through 3, the Mariners lead trim to 1. This 3-game series. Well, some roster moves for the Mariners today as the calendar flipped over to September and rosters expanding. Sean O'Malley coming up. Well, everybody coming up from Tacoma. We saw O'Malley in spring training. We saw him in a handful of big league games last year with the Angels. Stephen Romero, a familiar face up from the Rainiers. Jose Ramirez was with the Mariners, never actually pitched, and then was optioned back to Tacoma after coming over the Ackley deal. And Tony Zick, who has played in AA and AAA this year.
I wonder if Romero will get a chance to play tomorrow. Romero had a good year at AAA. 17 home runs. You have the lefty Kazmir going for the Astros tomorrow, so maybe Romero can get in the lineup. There's Stephen.
Marte to begin the fourth. We got off to a pretty quick start in this game tonight, but the last 2 innings have taken about an hour and 15 minutes. We've seen a total of 9 walks in this game early on for both pitchers. Now 2 balls and a strike to Marte. We'll see how long Velasquez can pitch for the Astros tonight after taking over for Feldman, who left after 2 2/3 with some form of, seemed like, mild injury. And they have ruled it shoulder discomfort for Feldman. And a leadoff walk to Marte. 10th walk already tonight, both sides combined. And comes Seager. Now, we mentioned Tony Zinn now on the team. You know, Mike, if they made a baseball registry, the Mariners would have ownership to, well, the start and the finish. David Arzma, Tony Zinn. So use that at the water cooler tomorrow.
That'll bring up Kyle Seager. Kyle. Oh.
That's a tough break.
Yeah. They have to shift on Gonzalez, holding the runner on, and he hits it right to him. We'll take a look at it. Kyle, 1 for 1 in the game, had a line drive into right, and he hits it hard again, but unfortunately it is right to Gonzalez.
Suddenly 2 outs. Nobody on for Cruz. Velasquez, a former second-round draft pick by the Astros. Taken out of high school in California. It's been parts of 5 seasons in the minors, including this year in Double-A with Corpus Christi. Got the call right up from Double-A to the big leagues. Cruz behind on the count, 1-2. Down on strikes. Gets him at 96. And his final leadoff walk. Desai retired in order for the first time tonight. All right, Angie, thank you. Colby Rasmus will lead things off for the Astros. Looks at strike one. Rasmus, a one-year deal with the Astros. He'll be a free agent next year. Former first-round draft pick. Some time. The Blue Jays most recently, drafted by the Cardinals in the first round back in 2005. The year Justin Upton was taken #1 overall by the Diamondbacks. Count stays at 0-2. Gets him looking. Oh, pinpoint there from Elias, the fastball, and he gets the lower outside corner. Out #1. Third punch out for Elias. Wednesday, September 9th, it is Mariners sunscreen night when the Mariners take on the Rangers. The first 10,000 fans will take home sunscreen courtesy of BASF. So stop by any Mariners team store or just go to mariners.com for tickets.
Really good job by Elias to get that fastball in the outside corner. Set it up. He'd thrown in 3 breaking balls in a row. Like Rasmus maybe was expecting it, but then he ended up throwing 92 right on the corner.
One and one is Stassi. Well, Stassi comes from a long line of baseball players in his family. His brother is a farmhand in the Phillies organization with AA Reading this year and last year. His father made it as high as AAA with the Giants. Easy play from Marte. Route #1. Pardon me, out #2. Brings in Marisnik. Boy, Marisnik got off to about as hot of an April as you can imagine. When we were watching him in April, Mike, we were saying this guy's going to be in the All-Star game. That's how well he was playing. Was slowed down a little bit by injury. Was on the disabled list. Numbers have cooled slightly.
At that time, he was hitting around 350 and running all over the ballpark. Making a lot of highlight catches in the outfield.
And really, he was a guy who was pretty unknown. In April, he hit 379. Stole 8 bags in April. Came over at the deadline last year from the Marlins Jared Cosart deal. Cosart has not seen a whole lot of time with the big leagues this year. Elias ahead 0-2, looking for a quick bottom of the 4th. Marisnik, a club to left, and this game is tied.
This looks like a mistake from Elias. He went to his breaking ball. He's basically going fastball, changeup, goes to his breaking ball. And in that situation, ahead 0-2, you want to throw this, bury it in the dirt. He doesn't get it there, and Marisnik makes him pay for it. You can see the reaction from Elias right away. He'd known he'd made a mistake.
That was a no-doubter. Ball 1 to Altuve. Over Elias and past Marte. Altuve reaching for the second time. Milwaukee the third, a single with 2 outs in the 4th. Go ahead run at first for Gonzalez. Well, Mike, we mentioned early that we cannot underscore this enough. You can't score enough runs here. The Mariners stranding 6 runners over the first 3 innings. They've had some men in scoring position. Home run from Gutierrez. RBI single from Miller.
They've struggled a little bit. 1 for 7 runners in scoring position, but a lot of time to change that.
Right to Cruz. And that'll do it for the Astros in the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs and 2 strikes. Marisnick ties this game at 3. I was waiting for that. Probably not. Here's Cano. I'm saddened that you have no faith in that. You're a realist, Mike, and I appreciate that about you. And I'm also right. Ball went to Cano.
Let's see if the Mariners get the lead back. Cano so far in this one. 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs. Ground out to second, grounded out to third.
Velasquez taking over for Feldman, who went just 2 2/3. Shoulder discomfort, had to leave early. Some good news. You don't see this necessarily all that often, but the roof is opening up.
Well, I guess 1st of September, it's about time.
I haven't seen the roof open here since probably April during our visits here to Houston. Takes about 14 minutes or so for the roof to open up here. Up the middle, watch out, out in front of me, Correa. A headlong dive. That almost took the cap off Velasquez. And a hit taken away. You think about that line-out double play by Seager, and now this diving catch by Correa. The Mariners have hit it hard and not necessarily had much to pay for the last couple of innings. As we take a look at our Big Fish Casino big catch.
And you can see where Correa is playing. Good positioning on their defense. You're right over the top of Velasquez's head.
Goody with 1 out. Gomez coming in. Can't get there. Franklin Gutierrez reaching for the third time tonight. The homer, the walk, and now a single. He scored twice. We'll take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Series wraps up tomorrow. Then an off day for the guys in San Francisco to get ready for a weekend series against the A's. Felix will pitch on Saturday against Oakland after having his turn skipped here in Houston. And the homestand. It'll be nice to get back home. It's been a long road trip. It'll be 10 games in 11 days. The Rangers for 4. Rockies over the weekend, interleague play, and then the Angels, who have really been in the midst of a slide. They've lost 4 in a row.
Seth Smith has been on base a couple of times. A triple, scored a run, also walked. And the Astros will have the shift on with Seth hitting.
Smith behind 0-2. Soft toss to first.
Franklin Gutierrez, before he started having his health issues, certainly a threat to steal bases. Not so much anymore.
Has not attempted one this year. You know, Mike, as the roof is halfway open at this point, roughly, you're immediately reminded as to how big of a difference this ballpark is with the roof open and the roof closed, just in terms of how it feels.
No, you're right.
Same could be said about Toronto, Rogers Center. And there maybe even more than here. At least here in Houston, you got the windows you can look out onto a little bit of a skyline. Gutierrez, Smith tied up. 2 outs.
After a couple of fastballs, he goes to the breaking ball. The first 3 pitches away from him. This one's going to end up inside. Still set up on the outside corner. He ended up pulling it across the plate and was able to get away with it. Bring up Trumbo. Trumbo, a couple of flyouts for him, 0 for 2.
2 outs, Goody at first base. The 1-0. 2-0 to Trumbo, who is 1 home run away from number 20 overall this year. Velasquez working with the go-ahead runner first base. We know this much about Velasquez. He's got a live arm. You've seen 96, that time 95.
And it looks like it has some late life to it. You'll see a lot of late swings, even in hitters' counts.
This is punched. High left center. This is up by the train. It's another massive home run for Mark Trumbo. The Mariners get the lead right back. The conductor's got to start to take cover here in Houston.
Franklin Gutierrez scores his 3rd run of the game. Trumbo with a couple of home runs yesterday, and he gets to that fastball. Right off the front of the train.
The train's going to need a paint job soon. Well, the Mariners continue to add to their road home run total, the most in baseball. Trumbo drove in all 3 runs last night for the Mariners. Picks up 2 more RBIs with that swing. Bases empty, 2 outs. Mariners have the lead. Miller, an RBI single back in the 3rd. Came off Velasquez. First batter he faced. Gomez back towards the track, making the catch. Miller gives it a ride, but he's out number 3. But it's Mark Trumbo with one healthy swing who has given the Mariners the lead. 3rd home run in 2 nights here in Houston. Live baseball. That bat is up to the moment. At any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, the new StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. Well, the Mariners have gotten to the lead right back. A 2-run mammoth home run by Trumbo up to the train, which has had some kind of magnetic pull to it the last couple of nights. 5-3 Mariners. And Correa leading off the bottom of the 5th. Now when Correa came up, everybody right away, Mike, started making the comparisons to a young A-Rod. You see that pretty easily as well?
He's a big shortstop. He's probably 6'4", maybe even a little better than that. Strong young man, but yeah, you can certainly see it.
Yeah, 16 home runs this year, driven in 45. Bites it off, foul. Now 1-0 If you go inside the Astros clubhouse here at Minute Maid Park, Correa's locker right next to Altuve's. Those two spending a lot of time together. Good guy to hang around if you're a rookie or a veteran.
Correa doubled his last time up, hit the ball out to left center field towards the Mariners bullpen. Fred Miller tried to make the catch, ended up crashing into the screen out there.
Gaddis on deck. He's walked twice, the last time intentionally. And this is just foul. That was close to going over the bag.
First looking at it, it looked as if it hit the bag, maybe in the corner. We'll take a look at it. Oh, it's clearly foul. Good call by Angel Hernandez, third base umpire.
It's interesting in this day and age of challenges and instant replay. That type of play almost always cannot be challenged or reviewed because of insufficient camera angles. You see Angel Hernandez, umpire at third. You would really need to have a camera hovering directly above each bag. Maybe side note with that is if the ball actually hit the bag. As Correa is out routinely to begin the bottom of the fifth. Lengthy at bat. Elias wins it. And it brings in Gaddis. Picks up for a brief discussion.
Gaddis intentionally walked his last time up. In fact, he's walked twice in this ball game.
Mike, this is just a guess. Don't know for sure, but just looking at Gaddis and watching him this year, I'm guessing he's not a guy who spends a lot of time in the film room. This doesn't seem to be cut from that kind of a cloth.
No, it definitely looks old school, that's for sure.
Seems to be a see the ball, hit the ball type of guy.
Well, you look at him in no batting gloves. I don't think he puts any pine tar or anything on there.
Who knows if that's even his bat?
He just grabs
one.
Yeah.
Just comes out of the cave. Opposite way and foul. New ball out to Elias. 2-2. Really, it's amazing that the bat handle doesn't just turn to sawdust at some point during each at bat.
Well, you look at the way he stands up there, really not a lot of movement, but he's so strong, he can still generate a lot of bat speed.
Another pitch inside.
Yeah, good fastball in on his hands that time. You can see for Elias tonight, 48% fastballs. You can see his breaking ball at 17%. We thought right with his changeup tonight, 35% changeup.
And it's high to right. Brewers tracking it. A lot of hang time, and it's there. We're out in the 2. 2 up, 2 down. That'll bring in Gomez. I'll change up your commute. Take our online trip planner for a spin at soundtransit.org. Elias sat down the first two in the fourth, but then the home run by Marisnik to tie things up. The Mariners, though, took the lead right back in the top of the fifth. Trumbo, the two-run homer. Quick ground ball, shoots right to Trumbo. Easy play. And a 1-2-3 inning for the first time for Elias since his 10-pitch first. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Happy to have you with us from inside Minute Maid Park here in downtown Houston, Texas. The roof has been opened up. The Mariners with a 5-3 lead as rookie catcher John Hicks, in his second major league start, will lead things off against Velasquez.
Yeah, John 0 for 1 tonight. Reached base on a walk in the second inning, strikeout swinging in the third.
Had a nice conversation today with Hicks inside the clubhouse, and blow no surprise, he spoke very highly of his time working with Dan Wilson during his time in the minor leagues, and taking over, looking at, and really being a big part of tutoring the catchers in the Mariners system. Gomez flags it down.
No surprise at all.
He said along the lines of, you know, when you're talking about catching with Dan Wilson, and he says, here's what I used to do when I caught Randy Johnson. He said all of a sudden it kind of grabs your attention a little bit. Two pitches and out number one here in the top of the sixth. As we go back to the top of the order, it brings in Marte. Marte has reached twice tonight, both times on ball four. For Marte in his young career, this is only his 28th game. Pretty impressive, Mike. Now, if you include what he's done tonight, 13 walks, 19 strikeouts.
He's done a really good job in the leadoff spot of reaching base, whether it's a hit or having a pretty good idea of the strike zone. You mentioned it, a couple of walks tonight.
Still 1-2. His ability to take ball four would explain A really pretty lengthy on base streak we recently saw snapped from Marte. 13 straight games for Ketel reaching base. Chopper and a fair ball. Gonzalez, easy play out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Seager. We'll take a look at our CenturyLink. What's next? Taijuan Walker returning to the spot of his major league debut. And Taijuan, a strong outing in his last start on this road trip. Worked into the 7th, then had a cramp in his hip flexor to leave a little bit early. See Taijuan against Scott Kazmir. Usually you forget about Kazmir being traded because it happened about a week or so before the deadline, but he's been one of the biggest acquisitions for any team, you can make the argument.
When we were here last time, there were a lot of rumors here that they were trying to get him, and obviously they were able to accomplish that.
Kazmir from Houston. Ties locally made a lot of sense for a number of reasons. Seager with 2 outs. And they put the shift on once again for Kyle. Correa swung over. Altuve there in the shotgun. High the opposite way. Rasmus in front of the track. A 1-2-3, top of the 6th. We go to the home half. Mariners by a couple. Swing gave the Mariners the lead in the 5th inning and put a dent in the train, Mike.
And Mark Trumbo really starting to heat up. A couple of home runs yesterday, and that 2-run home run, now 11 on the year. Made it a 5-3 ball game.
Trumbo getting the start tonight at first base.
Elias now at 95 pitches. Mariners have a right-hander getting loose in their bullpen. So hopefully he can have a quick inning, but this will probably be it for him. Michael Guaipe getting loose. Hard-throwing right-hander for the Mariners.
Guaipe just recalled before Sunday's game in Chicago. Jed Lowry will start things off in the bottom of the 6th. Off the mound and off the glove. Cano can't corral it as Lowry is aboard.
take a look at it. Hits it hard back up the middle. It will hit the mound, and an in-between hop as he tries to backhand it. Right off the end of his glove.
That brings a tying run to the plate. Rasmus. It does go down as a base hit for Lowry.
And I'm wondering if this is going to be Elias's last hitter. And right-handers due up after him.
And Elias had 0-2. Rasmus this year, not a whole lot of at-bats against lefties. Although he is hitting about 10 points higher against southpaws, but not a whole lot of bats to show for it. And he gets him on 3 pitches. And now Elias at the century mark, and that'll be it for Rowenis. And a nice way to end his night.
And gets him with the breaking ball, dropping down again, throwing the slider off the plate.
Elias strikeout number 4, 100 pitches on the night. Boyd pleased, and that'll be it. Elias 5 1/3. He leaves with Lowry at first. Whitebait coming on.
Now, probably had to work a little bit harder than he wanted to, but 5 1/3, just 5 hits, 3 runs, they were earned, but the 4 walks. That went to his pitch count, 100 pitches for him. He had 4 strikeouts. 100 pitches, 58 strikes for Elias. He's responsible for Lowry, who's on first base. Michael Whitebay going to take over. This will be his 10th appearance on the year. ERA over 7. In 14 innings, he has 10 strikeouts, 4 walks. Opponent's hitting .362 against a good fastball. He'll be in the mid-90s. Also a slider and a changeup.
Inherits Lowry at first base. Last Whitebay took over for Edgar Olmos on Sunday in Chicago when Olmos went 5 innings. That was the ball game to win 11. Whitebay gave up the game tying home run to Melky Cabrera in the 7th. Well, that was just the start of that game. There's Stassi with 1 out and 1 on. Stassi represents a tying run.
And you could tell on those first 2 swings, just guessing fastball. There being a couple of breaking balls in the dirt.
Whitebay can bring it. He's got a live arm. Gets him on 3 pitches. Nice way for Guipe to begin his night.
All 3 breaking balls, all of them down out of the strike zone.
Two outs. Lowry stays put at first, and here is Marisnik. Marisnik is the type of guy who's got the speed for bunt base hits, and a tremendous athlete in high school, as you can probably imagine, and has good size. He was an avid football player in high school. Actually got some looks from University of Oregon to be a wide receiver for the Ducks. Decided to pursue baseball instead. Guipe falls behind 2-1. And the field, he does not go. Apparently Orbit has found the most expensive seat in the house. Always up to something. I never see Moose down there in the Diamond Club. I don't know if mascots should be allowed that close to the backstop.
Why not?
Up the middle and a base hit. Lowry was taken off, and they'll go first and third. Two outs, runners on the corners.
Well, it turns out to be a big base hit too, because you get back to the top of the lineup, and that's their best hitter, Altuve, walking to the plate.
This is not the guy you want to face.
And Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout. Nobody throwing in the Mariner pen, so he's going out to have a conversation with Guipe and Hicks. Put a game plan together for him.
Altuve is such a tough guy to pitch in any situation. We talked about this last night. There's not a good place to pitch him often, is there?
No, he's aggressive, and we mentioned it last night. He's a good bad ball hitter. We saw him pick up a couple of hits on pitches out of the strike zone last night, and he uses the entire field. So, and even on a routine ground ball, if you bobble it all, he can beat it out. So he just creates so many problems for you.
Altuve, the go-ahead run, tying run at first with speed. Marisnik, Lowry at third. It's a big spot here. Nice stop there by Hicks.
You have the switch hitter Gonzalez on deck.
Altuve has reached twice already tonight, a walk and a single. And a strike, 1-1. Logan Kinsing beginning to stir.
Pretty big lead for Marisnik at first.
There he goes. Opposite way, base hit. Lowry scores. Marisnik easily into third. Mariners lead trimmed to a run.
And we'll take a look at it. It's the breaking ball in the middle of the plate. Marisnik on the move, and because of that, Cano had to go cover second base, open up the right side of the infield, and that's exactly where Altuve hit it.
Altuve has to be one of the best directional hitters right now in the game. He seems like he can guide it where he wants to most of the time.
I think he's a really smart player, and I think that you're right about that. You can see him slow his swing down at times too, not try to overswing and hit it too hard. You better keep an eye on him at first. Good idea. It looks like he was trying to get a walking lead.
Tying run Marisnik, 90 feet from home, 2 outs. And time called.
You have to have a lot of patience if you're going to hit behind Altuve, because he causes so many problems. You're going to see a lot of this where they're going to hold the ball, throw to first a lot.
He leads the league in steals. He's got 35 of them. First pitch to Gonzalez. There is Altuve. A pitch out and a wide throw. This game is tied. Marisnik scores. Altuve to third.
The error on Hicks. A stolen base for Altuve and an error. Boy, McClendon does the right thing. He guesses right, calls for the pitch out. He's in good shape and never gets squared up. That ball just sails on him.
Five apiece.
Again for Hicks, just his second start in the big leagues behind the plate.
Gonzalez to pop up. Marte called off. Smith. Out number 3. Altuve left at third. 2 runs in for the Astros, and they have once again tied it up. Game here from Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston. Stanley checking in one side of the booth. That's a good decision. Astros have tied it up. 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Jose Altuve once again causing some problems. No new news there. Here is Cruz to begin things in the Mariners' 7th.
We were talking about the base hit by Marisnick and how big that was because of Altuve. The Mariners have seen too much of him. Good player.
Goes around 1-1. And on the grass, Gonzalez taking himself. 1 out for Cano. Well, whether you have a full season or 20-game plan, when you're a Mariners season ticket holder, you'll be on hand to witness history at Safeco Field. Felix Kuma and the Mariners want you to join the club, so contact an account executive today at 206-346-4001 or visit mariners.com/16 for more information. Base is empty, 1 down for Cano.
Cano looking for his first hit. 0 for 3 tonight.
Surprising to see that he hasn't reached base at this point tonight. As hot of a hitter as he's been. And ahead 2-0. Velasquez has really done a nice job eating some innings. For A.J. Hinch after Feldman had to exit after just 2 2/3 with shoulder discomfort. He walked 5. He threw 39 pitches alone in the 2nd inning. Had nearly 60 pitches after 2. And Velasquez has really been out there for a while. Former starter from earlier in the year.
53 pitches for him. Left-hander getting loose in the bullpen for the Astros. Looks like Joe Thatcher, veteran lefty.
Thatcher just called up today. Full count to Cano, batting .390 over his last 19 games. Gutierrez on deck. What a good night for Goody. He's reached 3 times. He's scored 3 runs. And you can see with the exception of that pitch where Velasquez has been working Cano. More heat there from the righty.
Still has a good fastball. Last one at 96. Everything away from Cano.
A 1-out walk to Cano. He reaches base for the first time. Time a 98-mile-an-hour fastball missing. 6 walk drawn tonight by Mariners hitters. And now more activity inside the bullpen. Will Harris joining the party along with Thatcher. Goody climbing in, 1 out, and the go-ahead run at first base. I'm talking to Steve Sparks, the former knuckleballer, now on radio for the Astros, telling us about Velasquez in high school. His final season had bone spurs in his right arm, so he started pitching left-handed. Hit 89. I thought Pat Venditti was impressive.
Well, so far this evening we've seen him top out at 96, and now he's thrown 60 pitches. Take a look at Franklin Gutierrez in the second inning. He gets the Mariners on the scoreboard. You see the curveball. That was off of Feldman. For Franklin, his 11th home run.
And he hit 7 of them in August. It's his 8th home run in his last 19 games now. 2-1. A homer, a walk, and a single tonight. Count evens up. Go ahead run Cano at first base, a 1-out walk. This just goes foul. And home run from Goody gave the Mariners an early 1-0 lead. And then it was a bases loaded walk with Seager at the plate in the second. The Mariners led it 2-0. Astros have continued to come back tonight, though. They've tied this game up twice. Up and in. Smith on deck.
Seth with a triple in his first at bat. Scored a run. Seen a lot of 3-2 counts tonight.
A lot of walks. 4 from Elias, 5 from Feldman, and 1 from Velasquez now. There goes Cano. Swing and a miss. Down to second. Oh, time to top. Strike him out, throw him out. And a 1-2-3 top of the 7th. Stassi happy with those results. Time to stretch. All tied up. would change your bucket list. Play today. Look down the concourse here inside Minute Maid Park, downtown Houston, Texas. Side of Game 2 of this 3-game series before an off day on Thursday, and then out to the Bay Area. 3 games, a weekend series against the Oakland A's before returning home. 4-game series against the Texas Rangers awaits. Logan Kinsing up on the mound, taking over from Michael Whitebank.
Just his 5th appearance on the year. 5 2/3. He has 7 strikeouts, 5 walks. Opponents hitting just 150 against him. Good fastball slider combination from Kinsing.
They'll face Carlos Correa to begin things, and Gaddis and Gomez.
Correa 1 for 3 tonight. Hit a double. Came in the 3rd inning.
First pitch from Kinsing, a strike.
Good slider on the outside corner.
Correa doubled to deep left center field back in the 3rd inning. We saw him start last night for the Astros after missing 4 straight games, and an easy comebacker to Kinsing. Two pitches, 1 out. It brings in Gaddis. Now, when Kinsing broke into the big leagues, it was a long time ago, 2004. He spun only about 15 innings or so with the Marlins. Think about that Marlins team that Kinsing made his major league debut with. There's a young Miguel Cabrera on that team. And you think about the rotation that was for the Marlins in those days. That was when Josh Beckett was there, A.J. Burnett, Brad Penny, Dontrell Willis. And that was a blast for the past when you're talking about the old Florida Marlins. Starts Gaddis out with the first pitch strike.
Dontrell Willis is amazing the way he just burst onto the scene.
It's incredible.
Unfortunately, he ended up getting hurt a couple of times. Cleanup hitter for the Astros, DH Evan Gaddis. A couple of walks. Last time up, flew out to right.
Rubs this foul to make it 1-2. Last 2 years with the Braves. Was a catcher in Atlanta, and A.J. Hinch has made Gaddis the emergency catcher, but only in a grave emergency for the Astros. Soft pop up. Hicks, Trumbo. Two up, two down. I'll round up the guys and head to Safeco Field Saturday, September 12th for EQC Guys Night Out. You can pick up a ticket, a drink voucher, and a Mariners cap with a built-in bottle opener, all for only $35. These specially priced tickets are available at mariners.com/guys. 2 outs, bases clean for Gomez. A bunt. Kinsing, the bare hand. Wide and safe.
Pretty good play by Kinsing, but a lot of speed from Gomez. Astros center fielder.
And extends his hit streak to 7 games. We'll take another look.
Jensen gets off in good shape, bare hand, and a good throw for Trumbo. Just too much speed from Gomez.
Go-ahead run for the Astros aboard at first with 2 outs for Lowry, who singled and scored back in the 6th. He walked into second. Time call. Lowry batting left-handed for the first time tonight. Been a number of times tonight for the Astros with 2 outs where they've been able to do damage, extend the inning, and grab a run or 2. And get the bunt base hit with 2 outs here. This is thumped right center. Miller, and it is Miller or Cruz who is there to make the catch. Nelson as they cross paths. That was close. We'll take another look at this one. The big man's running hard. You peel out of the way. And that was that close. Wow. All tied up, 5 apiece as we go to the top of the 8th here from Minute Maid Park in game 2 of 3 as we take a look to what's next. Brought to you by Central Link. Tomorrow, final game of the series. Our coverage begins at 4:30. Taijuan Walker coming off a nice start his last time out against Chicago on this road trip. Facing off against Scott Kazmir. There you can see his numbers combined between his time with the A's and here in Houston. As we got a new pitcher. It is Pat Neshek taking over for Velasquez.
A lot of appearances for him. 55 appearances, ERA just over 3, 47 strikeouts, 47 in a third.
First pitch strike to Seth Smith. Neshek has been a part of the bullpen overhaul here in Houston, an all-star last year with St. Louis. We've seen it before, Mike, but a little bit of a herky-jerky, funny delivery from Neshek that's worked out for the most part in his career.
It's kind of abbreviated. Went to a full windup. Carson Smith getting loose in the Mariners' pen.
I can see Carson. I like Carson Smith. Neshek really tough on right-handed hitters, batting beneath 180 against him. Lefties have had more success.
He still has a pretty good fastball, 91, 92 miles an hour, and he can run it in on the hands of the righties. Of course, also uses the slider.
Neshek had a rough one in the middle of August on the 15th. Gave up 3 runs on 4 hits without recording an out. He was dealt the loss against the Tigers in what was an extra inning game here in Houston and went 11 innings. But since then, he's given up only 3 hits in 4 appearances, no runs. And he has really been almost exclusively a 1-inning guy. Another foul ball.
He just keeps going after him with fastballs. You can see the EQC tracer, all those fastballs in the middle of the plate. Seth unfortunately fell behind in the count and not able to be as aggressive as he normally would on a fastball like that. He's trying to protect the plate. Astros with the shift on.
2-2. Into the shift and the backhand gobbled up. Altuve out number 1.
Like this ball comes up a little bit on Altuve and he's able to make the adjustment. You can see quickly right there towards the end, lifting his glove up. One of the hot hitters for the Mariners. A couple of home runs in last night's ball game, and Trumbo again homered in the 5th inning of this one.
That was a 2-run shot to give the Mariners the lead, 5-3, but then the Astros came back. 2 runs in the 6th. Pop up off the bat of Trumbo. Marwin Gonzalez out number 2. Two up, 2 down for Miller, all tied up. Mariners right now 2-3 on the road trip after the loss last night. Split the series in Chicago. Really, last night's game the only one that has not been close on this trip. Every game in Chicago decided by 2 runs or fewer. Including the final game, which was in extra innings. It took 11. Miller calls for time. They put the shift on for Brad. Hard to think of too many teams that have shifted Brad another blow.
No, there really haven't been many, but we've also seen this team put the shift on with Nelson Cruz.
Yeah.
Not consistently. They pick their spots, but we've seen it.
Now, to give it some context, last year, the two pitchers that had the most shifts put on behind them, Dallas Keuchel and Colin McHugh. Both of the Astros, of course. So not surprising at all. No. This is one of the more progressive teams in that way. Miller up the middle. Gomez on a bounce. Brad's second hit tonight, a 2-out single. That keeps the 8th inning alive.
And we're going to have a pinch hitter, John Hicks, being called back to the dugout. It looks like it'll be Logan Morrison. Solid line drive, base hit on a fastball out over the plate. So Brad with a couple of hits last night, follows it up with 2 more hits tonight.
Miller the go-ahead run. Lomo coming up.
A.J. Hinch will stay with Neshek. Nobody throwing in the Astros bullpen. We saw Joe Thatcher, the veteran left-hander, up earlier in the ball game, but nobody throwing now. Now with Logan hitting, the Astros will keep the shift on.
Now Logan looking for his first hit as a pinch hitter this year. This will be the 8th time. And Logan ahead 2-0. Didn't miss by much, but it missed.
Neshek's going to try to keep this fastball down for Logan. He needs to look in a zone where he can drive it. Miller with good speed at first. Anything in the gap should score him.
This is hammered right field, and it's gone. Logan Morrison, a pinch hit, 2-run, 2-out homer right field, and the Mariners climb back on top. Now this feels like the Logan Morrison of September of last season.
Really good at bat. He's able to take a couple of fastballs that were borderline down. We talked about him zoning up, and he's going to get a fastball just above the knees in the middle of the plate, and he lines it into the seats.
That was crushed. 2 outs, bases empty, and it brings in Marte.
I'm sure for the Astros that one really hurt because Texas is playing in San Diego and they're off to an early lead in that one. Astros at the start of today ahead of the Rangers by 4 games.
A month left. When you think about it, for the folks here in Houston, this is without question the most important September that they have had in a long time. Still 1-2 on Marte. What a shot by Lomo. Marte down on strikes. Well, with 2 outs, Miller the single. John Hicks lifted, Lomo in to pinch hit, and then this happened. One swing, and the Mariners now lead it by 2. You don't think Lomo knew that one was gone? Pinch hit home run as he takes over at first base. And the timing could not have been better. New pitcher up on the mound for the Mariners, Carson Smith, taking over for Logan Kinsing.
For Carson, 58 appearances on the year, 2.83 ERA, 72 strikeouts, and 57 in the third. Opponent's hitting just 197 against Carson. Good fastball. Low to mid 90s with his fastball. Mix in a slider, occasional changeup to the left-handed hitters. Sucre will take over behind the plate. Rasmussen, it looks like Hank Conger is going to pinch hit.
So Sucre behind home. Lomo at first. And Carson Smith up on the mound. And 3 new guys talking things over. First pitch, left center. Miller, the sprint, the chase. Off the wall. The carom, and Rasmus put it on the Jets. He'll take third. Not how Carson Smith envisioned the first pitch.
And it looked like it was his changeup. First pitch changeup, 85 miles an hour out over the plate. And Rasmus watching the play, and as soon as he sees Brad get the ball in quickly, a little bit behind where Cano was standing, didn't hit the cutoff man, and he decided to move on to the next base. Hank Conger will pinch hit.
Takes over for Stassi. Strike one. Now we saw Conger last night with a mammoth home run. That was his 9th of the year up to the train tracks. 0-2.
They're going to call that a double E8 for Rasmus. Balbuena has come out on deck. He will pitch it for Marisnik.
Smith ahead of ball and 2 strikes, working with the man at third base. And he gets him looking. Big out number 1, Carson Smith freezes Hank Conger off the bench.
And he comes back with his breaking ball. Conger thought that pitch was going to be off the plate away. Ended up right in the middle of the plate.
So here is Balbuena. Balbuena, who has had one of the oddest statistical seasons in baseball this year, batting .211, and he has hit 22 homers. He has doubled 14 times. Drawn his fair share of walks.
Kyle Seager in at third. The rest of the infield playing back.
Balbuena the tying run. And Balbuena not pleased with that call. You can see the tracer though. Rasmus a double and an error by Miller put him at third base. It seems as though the Astros have brought either the tying or the go-ahead run up to the plate. What, in each of the last 3-4 innings? There have been some serious stress pitches thrown tonight by Mariners relievers.
No, you're right. There have been. We talked about the Astros, dangerous club, but they will strike out a lot. Carson in good shape here, 1-2.
And he gets the swing and the miss from Balbuena. Another breaking ball. Back-to-back punch-outs.
And that will bring up Altuve. We'll take a look at this last breaking ball. Throws it down and in. He'll swing right over the top of it. Missed it by about a foot.
Since the Astros joined the American League in 2013, no player has more hits against the Mariners than that man right there. He has 5 more than Mike Trout. He has 15 more than Adrian Beltre.
Three hits last night, and you can see a couple of hits here. And Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout again. Nobody throwing in the Mariner pen. He's just going to have a conversation with Carson Smith. Jesus Sucre, the catcher.
Altuve leading the American League in hits, extending his on-base streak tonight to 29 games, extending a career best. And you can understand why you might want to talk a little strategy. Rasmus 90 feet from home. Altuve the tying run. Bunt outside.
And I think he was going to try to push that to the right side of the infield. Logan Morrison playing really deep at first base. talking about it early in the game. He really does not miss anything.
Pins him back. A strike. Borderline, but a strike called. You can see what that movement does to the eyes of a hitter, a right-handed bat like Altuve. Smith behind 3-1. Marlon Gonzalez on deck. 2 outs. Rasmus at third. Strike called. For as much as the Astros strike out, it is no fault of Altuve's. He is very tough to punch out. He has as many RBIs as he does strikeouts. That's 54. And he gets him swinging. Oh, that is a huge punch out to Altuve, who leads the league in hits. Altuve, who has reached 3 times tonight, held off the bases when it matters the most. Smith went on to strike out the side from there as he got Conger, Valbuena off the bench, and then the big one, Altuve.
And I like the fact that he went right to his best pitch, and that was his slider to get all 3 of the strikeouts. You look at the changes for the Astros. Valbuena stay in the game, so will Conger. Gonzalez moves from first to left field, Rasmus from left to right. Luke Gregerson will take over for Houston. We'll get Kyle Seager. It'll be Seager, Cruz, and Cano due up. Or Gregerson, 52 appearances, a 2.82 ERA, 47 strikeouts, 10 walks, and 51 innings. Opponents hitting .213. Pretty good sinker. Going to keep the ball down.
Has been one of the best sinker slider combos out of any bullpen in recent years. Gregerson, who was traded for Seth Smith. San Diego to Oakland, as you see Donald Helmson getting set for the ninth. One two to Seager, and it's outside.
Here we go. Come on.
And he gets Seager. Gregerson strikes out the first man that he sees.
And a pretty good sinker on the outside corner.
Gregerson 25 saves now this season after being the setup man in other teams, other locations for so long. Was Houston Street setup guy in San Diego for years. Now looking at Cruz with one out. And this has been a rare 0 for 4 night so far for Nelson. Last night reached twice, a walk and a single. Trying to get on base here in the ninth. Into the shift. Altuve on the other side of second. Now we'll go back to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mike, and Carson Smith first getting a conger.
Well, and you have to remember, runner on third and nobody out, and he goes to his slider. A couple of pinch hitters in Conger and Valbuena that puts away their best hitter with the slider in Altuve. Plus pitching right there by Carson Smith to keep the runner at third.
And that's big time stuff. 2 up, 2 down, bases empty for Cano. Swinging and missing at the first pitch. Cano a walk his last time up. If the Mariners can hold on tonight, it would set up a chance for the rubber game tomorrow. Taijuan Walker takes the ball for the Mariners in the finale. Go up against Scott Kazmir. A great pitching matchup in store for us tomorrow night. Then an off day. Check swing, appealed. He does not go. Belted to right field and a base hit. Cano's first hit tonight. It keeps the 9th inning going for the Mariners.
And that will bring up Franklin Gutierrez. Franklin 2 for 3 tonight. He also has a walk and he scored 3 runs with his 11th home run in his first at bat.
Right here. Come on.
One thing the Mariners have done a nice job of tonight, Mike, that really stands out, is they've really spread the scoring out. Got 2 runs in the second, a run in the third, and there are 2 runs in the 5th. 2 more in the 8th. The pinch hit home run with 2 outs by Lomo. At times this year, Lloyd has shown his frustration with runs being really bunched up, especially bunched up early, and the Mariners not being able to score late. But that has not been the problem at all tonight.
No, showing some power. 3 home runs for the Mariners in this one. Franklin Gutierrez hitting his 11th. You talked about Lomo's pinch hit home run. Trumbo homered again after hitting 2 yesterday.
5 of the 7 runs coming in on homers. For the Mariners, that was their 4th pinch hit home run this season, the 3rd in the career of Logan Morrison. And that was a no-doubter. Two balls and a strike to Goody with 2 outs. think about how good this Astros pitching has been. Think about the month of August. They had the best ERA in the majors, 2.61. Mariners been able to get up to 7 runs tonight. Gomez to put it away. Day into ninth. KO stranded. They go to the bottom of the ninth. Big Tom's coming on for the Mariners, trying to lock this one down. Helps he takes over for the Mariners to get the final 3 outs of this one tonight.
Tom has really been throwing the ball well as of late. His fastball has been 96 to 98 miles an hour with a 12-6 curveball, throw a changeup, and a cutter. For Tom, 42 appearances on the year, a 3.67 ERA, 47 strikeouts over the 49 innings that he has worked. Opponents hitting 261 against him.
Elias got the start, then it was Guipe, Kent Singh, Smith, and now Tom Wilhelmsen.
Gonzalez, Correa, and Gaddis due up.
2, 3, and 4 for the Astros. And you can see that Tom can bring the heat. Almost 95 miles an hour on average. See how it ranks up with those on the Mariners.
And that first fastball right at 95.
Oh, 2. Comes in with the curve. Gonzalez taking some time to square up. Baseball out to Wilhelmsen, 1-2. Lomo, the flip, out number 1. Nice start for Wilhelmsen.
It looks like Tom has a good curveball tonight. Threw a first pitch fastball at 95, and then it was 3 curveballs in a row.
You know, Mike, it's pretty incredible as you look at just the close-up shots that we've got on Tom tonight. And you see his face. For those of us who have a chance to spend some time around Tom on the buses on the way to and from the ballpark, and we know him as one of the funniest guys in baseball, it's amazing how he can flip the switch.
He has a great time when he's not on the mound.
He's pretty stern when he's up there, though. And he gets a swing and a miss from Correa. Some heat that time. Correa's lone hit tonight, the double, back in the 3rd. One and 2. Don't want to put anybody on for Evan Gattis, who's on deck. Tom's 1-2. Big curve.
Just missed the inside corner with it.
Very close to make it 2-2. The heat, and it gets him swinging. 96. Wilhelmsen out number 2. That looked like about 105 after that curve, Mike.
Man, you can see it down out of the strike zone. Gets Correa to chase it.
Felix tomorrow. Pardon me, Taiwan talking things over with Stephen Romero. Here's Gattis, 2 outs, nobody on. And strike 1. Gattis has reached twice, both times on walks, once intentionally. Soft roller. Here comes Seager. Long throw, and it's in time to get Gattis a 1-2-3 ninth. The Mariners get the win and a chance for a series win tomorrow.
What a big pinch hit home run by Logan Morrison. Logan was able to get ahead in the count 2-0 and had a fastball that he could handle and drives it into the seats out into right. Franklin Gutierrez with a good night tonight. He had his 11th home run along with Trumbo, his 11th as well. So the Mariners showing some power. Elias struggled through this one